Well, students, we have introduced the basic notions of options. In this lecture, we will see some popular trading strategies using options. Before going into the trading strategies, let me just take you to the website of National Stock Exchange to show the live data of options. The table that you see here can be seen on the website of NSE India. You can go to Google and type NSE option chain and you will get to this table by clicking on the first hit on the Google. By default, the site opens with Nifty option chain, but you can select any stock and then watch the option chain of that stock. For instance, I'm showing you here the option chain table of Reliance. So the table shown here is at the closing time of the market, that is at 3:30 on 5th March 2021. You can see that this column shows the strike price of the option. It varies from 1360 onwards and it starts gradually increasing and it goes up to 2780. You can see that the Reliance stock closed on 5th March at 2174.55 per stock in the spot market. Now let's go back to the option chain table. Since the spot market price of Reliance is 2175 near about, the closest strike price for the spot price is 2180. Now remember this number. So this side of the table shows the call options and the right side of the table shows the put option. And you can see that these are the bid prices and quantity and these are ask price. That is, the people who are buying, they quote the price of this particular strike price. This is the premium that buyers are quoting that they want to buy, and this is the premium that the sellers are quoting that they can sell. So whenever the buyer and sellers price matches, the trade happens for this strike price. That is for K1 strike, say, and the premium will be whatever matches. Say for instance, they both meet say at 812 here, then you will see that 1360 strike is traded at 812 at that moment of time. So the premium keeps changing for this strike price as time goes till the end of the market. Similarly, this happens for all the strike prices. So these many options for the underlying Reliance alone is happening. For instance, you can see that in all these put options, nobody is trading. And similarly, these call options, nobody is trading and so on. Mostly the active options will be those whose strike price is around the spot price, something like this. And you can also see that this side you have a different color than the white color here, and similarly you can see white color here, and whereas here you see some slight brown color. This is to indicate that in call options all these are in the money option. And these all are out of money. Call options. Similarly here in the put side, these all are in the money put options, and all these are out of the money put options. So suppose if you are interested, say, in trading the option, call option for strike price 2140, then you will be asking your own rate for which you want to buy. That is the premium that you can pay. The best buy price will be listed here and the best offer price will be listed here. If they both become equal, that trade will happen and so on. This is how it goes on. Okay, this is something which is not very relevant to our course. This is just to show you how in day-to-day life people trade in option. Let us go back to our course and we will talk about certain important trading strategies in option. There are many trading strategies to make portfolios by combining options and the underlying assets from the spot market. One can also make portfolios purely out of options by combining several options. Options trading strategy itself is a vast subject and there are dedicated books on this. We will discuss only a few of them which are quite popular. As I told earlier, derivatives are basically developed for hedging purpose. In particular, options are also primarily developed for hedging purpose only. However, speculators get attracted into the options market because of mainly two reasons. One is because of the high liquidity. That is, there is a lot of trades happen in option market that makes the option prices to vary very wildly. So speculators come to take advantage of the fluctuation in the option prices to make money. The second reason is there is a great advantage in trading options rather than trading directly in the underlying assets. This is a concept called leverage. First, let us try to understand what is meant by leverage. We'll try to understand the concept of leverage through a simple example. Assume that a stock traded at the spot market for rupees 1950 per share on 1st February 2021 and the same stock on 25th February traded at rupees 2150 per share. That is, on 1st Feb the stock was somewhere like this and then it came to 2150, say. Let's assume this. Assume that a trader bought 100 shares on 1st of February. Let's call the trader as Mr. Meg. So it means he spent 1,95,000 rupees and bought 100 shares on 1st of February and he sold these stocks on 25th February and thereby he got back 2,15,000 rupees. So it means in this trade, Mr. May got rupees 20,000 profit. So what he did, he put 1,95,000 and got back 20,000 rupees. So in terms of percentage, he nearly got 10.26%, right? So that is the profit he got out of this trade. Let us see how the same scenario in the underlying asset can be utilized through options trading. Let us assume that there is another trader called Mrs. Sahana who bought a call option with the contract size of 100 for the strike price 1950 for the same underlying asset, and the premium that she paid was say 50 rupees per share and the expiration date be 25th February. So recall, to define a call option, we need to know what is the strike price and what is the contract size. If we don't mention a contract size, it means you can by default take it as 1. And we need a premium, that is the option price and the expiration. So all these 4 parameters defines a option. So in our example, Mrs. Sahana went for this call option with the underlying asset as the same as what Mr. Meg has traded in the spot market. Let us see what this call option gives to Mrs. Sahana. Before that, let us see how much she spent in order to own this call option. Well, she bought one call option It means it contains 100 shares and the premium is 50 rupees per share. It means one call option cost 5,000 rupees, right? So she spent 5,000 rupees. Let us denote it by capital X as the premium to own one call option in the stock with the strike of 1950 and the expiration 25th February. Let us see what happens on the expiration day. Recall on the expiration date, the stock price was 2,150. That is, S of T is 2,150. And what is the strike price? K is equal to 1950 and it is a call option. Since K is less than ST, we have already seen that Sahana will go for exercising the option because her call option is in the money, therefore she will exercise it. This means that she will go for cash settlement where she will get the pay of 2,150 minus 1950. That is the difference in the strike price and the spot price. And since she is owning one contract, which means 100 shares, therefore her payoff is basically 20,000. Recall, it's the same as what Meg also got, but this is not exactly what she got as a gain. Why? Because she spent 5,000 to own this call option. That is the premium she paid. Therefore, her gain is actually 20,000 minus 5,000, which is 15,000. So you can see that Mrs. Sahana got 15,000 out of her option trading, whereas if you recall, Meg got 20,000 out of his spot market trading. So although Sahana got little less than what Meg got, there is a catchy point here that Sahana only spent 5,000 and got 15,000. That means she got near about 300% profit in her investment, whereas Mr. Meg spent, that is in the case of Meg, it is an investment, 1,95,000 and got 20,000. Thereby, he got 10.26% out of his investment. So you can see that Sahana got a higher percentage return from the option. This concept is called leverage. So in other words, we can say that the call option that Mrs. Sahana opted for had provided a leveraged return to her. But one has to be very careful that Mrs. Sahana took a huge risk in this trade. How can you see that? You see, the stock went up and therefore Sahana was in the money and therefore she got a successful trade through this option. Just imagine that on 25th Feb, if the spot price was 1,949, that is 1 rupee less than the spot price on the 1st of February, what would have happened? Well, Meg would have just lost 1 rupee in his total investment, whereas on this day, anyway, the option will expire. Mrs. Shagana cannot carry over this option to the next day. She has to close it on this day. Since she was out of the money, she will not opt to exercise the option. Therefore, the entire 5,000 would have just gone for her. It means this 1 rupee less than the strike price would have given 100% loss in Mrs. Sahana's investment. So now one can understand how much risk is involved in option trading. In this example, the option trader, that is Mrs. Sahana, is a speculator. Why this is so? Because Mrs. Sahana's intention was not to reduce the uncertainty in the price fluctuation of a stock which she is already owning from the spot market. Rather, she somehow predicted that a stock price is going to go up, or merely maybe guessed, and took a wild risk and jumped into the option trade. A contrary to this is a hedging idea. Again, I will explain you the hedging idea through a simple example. The strategy that we are going to see in this example is called protective put. Assume that Mr. Meg bought 100 shares of a stock at the rate of rupees 1950 per share on 1st February. Why he bought? Because he might have anticipated or predicted somehow that the stock price will go up maybe by the end of February, and hence he had the intention of selling this 100 shares at the month end. However, he is worried about the possibility of stock going downwards. That is what happens if his prediction goes wrong. So he decided to reduce his risk by looking for an option. Look, his mind setup is just opposite to Mrs. Sahana's mindset in the last example. She just didn't worry about anything like adventurous investment she did, whereas he put his money into the share in the spot market, but he is worried whether his prediction will go wrong. In that case, what to do? That is his worry now. So he is trying to somehow reduce his risk. So how he is going to reduce his risk? Using an option trade. Let us see that. He found a favorable put option on the option chain data. The put option information is as follows. The put option strike price is 1900. The put option that Meg got attracted was having a strike price of 1900. Its expiration is 25th February. The premium was 108 rupees 60 pies, and the lot per contract is 100 shares. See, if we don't give this information, you can take it as one share. Now let us see what Mr. Meg achieves by going long in this put option, that is buying this put option. To see this, we will first see the net payoff of this put option. The net payoff is defined as follows. Let's use a notation script n, and it is a function of the spot market price of the stock at the expiration. Okay, so we talk only about European option, so that the expiration is exactly at time t equal to capital T. The net payoff is given by the stock payoff, the net payoff in this particular trade. That is the combination of the spot market trade and the option market trade. See, the net payoff differs in different strategies. In this strategy, the net payoff is given like this, which is stock payoff from the spot market plus long put gain. So whenever we say we gain, you should also keep in mind that it may be gain or loss depending on whether the final outcome is a positive number or a negative number. So often we will not say or loss. Okay, we just say gain. It doesn't mean there's only gain. Okay, so there can be a loss also. Therefore, gain equal to some negative number means it's a loss, and that is given by the spot market price of the stock at the expiration minus the initial stock price, that is the price at which Mr. Meg bought the shares in the spot market, plus the gain function which we have already introduced in the last class. Recall, this is nothing but ST minus S naught. Since it's a put option, you have it as 0, K minus ST. So that's the payoff of the long put. And since we are talking about the gain, therefore you have to remove the price that Meg paid for it. That is this amount, 108.6. So here you can see that the net payoff is a function of spot market price of the stock at the expiration, whereas all other parameters are given already in our problem. So remember, S naught is 1950 given plus max of 0 comma spot price is 1900 minus ST minus 108.6. So this is the net payoff from the trade. That is, in this case, this is a net payoff from this strategy, that is the entire portfolio. So the net payoff of the portfolio is the sum of the spot market trade plus the derivative market trade. So let us consider two cases. Case one is when K is less than ST, that is on the expiration. If the spot market price of the stock is greater than the strike price, then what happens? The net payoff is going to be ST minus 1950 plus, since this is a negative, therefore this goes off in this case, and therefore we will have minus 108.6, and that gives us ST minus 2058.6. Next, consider the case when K is greater than or equal to maybe ST. In this case, the net payoff is given by, again, ST minus 1950 plus 1900 minus ST, because this is now positive, minus 108.6. So that will make ST to cancel, and we get minus 158.6. We can draw the payoff graph for this problem, and it is given by this. Let us try to understand this payoff graph. The x-axis is taken as the spot price of the stock at the expiration time, that is ST. So this is one, it's considered to be a variable, and the y-axis is taken to be the payoff or gain. Okay, so it can be also gain. So here you can see that the black line is the net payoff that we have obtained. You can see that as long as ST is less than K, your net payoff is constant, right? This is what we have seen in the expression that we have derived previously. For K greater than or equal to ST, your net payoff remains constant, right? So that is what is seen here. And for this region, that is ST is greater than K, you can see that the net payoff is given by this, and therefore it is just a straight line, making an angle 45 degrees with the x-axis. So from this figure, you can see that the long put option position actually helped Mr. Meg to limit his loss only to minus 158.6. Right? He cannot lose something more than this much money per share. Whereas on the upside, he can get any amount of profit. There is no bound for profit. That is what the put option is giving him. So we call this as limited loss. And also you can see that if the spot market price of the stock is more than 2058.6, then Meg will get profit out of this portfolio. So protecting a risky investment, that is the investment that Mr. Meg made in the spot market, is called the hedging. In other words, the put option Mr. Meg opted for had provided a hedge for the exposure to the stock that he traded in the spot market. So this is the idea of hedging. Hedging means, suppose you have some position in the spot market, whether it is a long position or short position, you have absolutely no limit of loss or profit. Suppose you are worried about losing the money, you can use certain options and thereby limit your loss to some finite number, like what we did in this example. Such a combination of spot market trade and a option market trade with the intention of limiting your loss to some finite number is called a hedge. We have illustrated hedge using a long put. One can also do hedge using call options. Such strategies are called covered calls. I have given an exercise for you to understand the idea behind hedging using call options.